So today, for the creator of the window, we're doing like a middle part. We're doing hair very slick until the hair. Then we having a wave with hair like down, and our key product, which is the elixir, we're not brushing the hair at the end, we're going with the fingers through the hair, the cool look. So the sophistication is only on the top, and then it's like cool waves.
The makeup look this season was really about contrast, texture. We specifically wanted to do something that was very soft and almost not there. So we spent a lot of time on this texture of the skin, a little bit of concealer, and loose powder, really important, so that when we got to the eye makeup, which is this very graphic, linear, sort of rose gold shape, the skin had to be very matte so that the texture of the eye makeup would jump out. Eye cream on the lips, because it doesn't have as much of a shine. These colors are so universal that they look good on everybody.
The nails we're doing for creatures, they are so awesome. They're really almost like a secret alphabet done in graffiti against sort of a Memphis style from the 80s, like color blocking. So gray on one side, concrete on the other, with graffiti going down the side in multi-tones.
Shane. No, you do it.
Who wants to go first?
I mean, the problem is we have kind of two different narratives for this collection that are kind of like they're not necessarily, you know, they mesh, but at the same time it's very different. Well, for me, the collection is called Candy. It started with the idea of the appeal of the artificial and the allure of something that's plastic and not really based on anything that's really substantial or even healthy, and that's where I started.
We've been working together for a number of seasons now, so I think as we, you know, as we keep working together, it's less important that it's framed out so specifically. So I think we kind of start from from the same place. We're talking about the same things and looking at the fabrics together. But then, I think we now know what each other kind of are expecting a little bit more, so we can, it can kind of like break away a little bit. But I think essentially we're talking about. Obviously, we're always trying to talk about the same thing.
We're looking more about like the pre-Memphis, like Ettore Statis's like color studies before founding or creating the Memphis group, and just like the way he used color to kind of fill spaces. A lot of the collection was this reduced silhouette, and it was this idea of how we kind of plug in color and texture.
Translating that idea into like a simple silhouette, and then how do you kind of like break that silhouette into some interesting ways.
So at the same time, like the sort of jarring textural applications and textures that are really difficult to visually understand.
With some of the textures, there were some like really kind of like three-dimensional textures that kind of read flat from a distance, and then even the way we kind of approached our collaboration with Swarovski this season, it was about kind of like letting it almost, you know, kind of like blend into the fabric, and then, you know, at certain moments in a certain light it kind of comes out, you know, in certain points it almost looks like there's nothing, and then in certain lights it's really kind of there. So it was about that kind of like visual kind of like distortion or confusion a little bit.
We did gowns last season, but they were really, really structured. Like they were like huge crinoline things with like corsets, and that was really fun to investigate. And then the gowns this season were basically the reverse of that, where there's no structure, but it was totally based on the materials that they're made out of.
There are so many different kind of people that could, you know, that could wear the clothes, and we know so many different kinds of people that wear the clothes. That you know, I think when we're designing the collection, there's not like one specific kind of like girl or woman that we're thinking about, but rather it's like, you know, with like, you know, A, B, C, and D kind of find this appealing, and I think it's really important that it can kind of cross some boundaries that way and be something that can be taken out of our kind of larger narrative and place into somebody's kind of like very kind of like individual kind of story.
That's totally what I'm thinking.